Batlings, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of people deal with quietly, but don't always have the words for. Before I get into the soft talk, I want to thank Shananbi for giving me the idea to speak on this topic. Body dysmorphia is something I've struggled with for a long time, so I related a lot to your comment. I do enjoy talking about suggested topics, so anyone can feel free to always suggest some in the comments. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that feeling of being painfully aware of yourself, of your body, and of your face, and of how you exist in a room. That feeling like everyone can see you, and even when you're just trying to go about your day, it's very noticeable, or you think it's noticeable in your mind. It's like this constant background awareness, like you're watching yourself from the outside while also being stuck inside your own body at the same time. For a lot of us, this shows up as body dysmorphia, and for others, it's just this overwhelming sense of being perceived everywhere you go. Either way, it's exhausting. You walk into a store and suddenly you're aware of how you're standing and how you're walking, where your hands are, what your face looks like. You start adjusting your clothes and fixing your hair and avoiding mirrors or checking every reflective surface you pass. And your brain starts doing this thing where it zooms in on everything: your posture and your stomach and your skin and your expression. And it feels like you're watching yourself from the outside while also being stuck inside your own body at the same time. And that's tiring. I think a lot of people assume body dysmorphia looks like hating your body outright, but for many of us, it's quieter than that. Sometimes it's avoiding photos, or sometimes it's like replaying how you looked in a social situation, or, thinking everyone noticed that one thing you hate about yourself. Sometimes it looks like staying home because you don't feel presentable enough. It's this constant mental loop that follows you everywhere. You could be having a perfectly fine day, and then you catch your reflection in the window or mirror, and suddenly everything shifts. Or you see someone online who looks effortless and confident and put together and handsome and beautiful and just socially attractive, and your brain immediately turns inward. Why don't I look like that? Why can't I just exist normally? Why does everything feel so awkward? And I think a huge part of this comes from being perceived, being seen, not just physically, but also even emotionally sometimes. We live in a world where everything feels visible. People post themselves constantly: their bodies, their faces, their lives, their best angles. So even when nobody's actually watching you, it feels like they are, because that's what we're used to. It feels like you're on display, and that's where the anxiety likes to creep in. You start moving through the world like you're being judged in the most ordinary moments: standing in a line, walking past strangers, sitting alone in public, ordering your food, even things like as simple as walking through the aisle in a grocery store. Your brain is narrating the whole time. It's, oh, I look weird. I look uncomfortable. They probably noticed. They probably realized that my glasses aren't as clean as they should be. And if you ever catch yourself spiraling like that, one small thing that's helped me is grounding back into my body instead of fighting it. Take a slow breath. Press your feet into the floor. Touch something cold or textured. Look at everything you see around you. Count how many things are pink or how many things are blue, or think about what it smells like around you or in the section that you're in. Just reminding yourself that I'm here and I'm safe and I exist. You don't have to immediately love how you look. I personally don't at times. There's good days and bad days. Like, there's some days where I feel like I'm a 10 out of 10, or like an 1,000 out of 10, and then there's other days where I just feel like I look like poop. Sometimes the first step is just learning how to be natural and neutral with yourself and letting your body exist without attacking it and letting your reflection be there without starting a war with it. You don't owe the beauty and the handsome charmingness to anyone. You don't owe perfection. You don't owe being easy on the eyes. You only owe your self-care and love. Self-care and self-love is a really big thing. But also, here's something that I would say I've had to slowly learn, and I'm still learning each and every day. It's that most people are way too wrapped up in themselves to be analyzing you the way your brain thinks they are. I try to remind myself of this, but I do forget about this a lot. But it's a walk in process. You know, most people they're thinking about what they forgot to buy or what they have to do later or the awkward thing they said earlier to someone else in a whole different conversation in a whole different place, or they're thinking about how tired they are from work and how tired they're going to be when they go to work. Everyone is living in their own head. And yet, it's like when you're dealing with this, it feels like you're the main character in everyone else's movie. You're the spotlight in everyone else's head. Every flaw is highlighted. And I've noticed that body dysmorphia doesn't just make you uncomfortable in your body, it makes you literally hyper aware of your existence. It makes you shrink. It makes you quieter. It makes you second guess going to places or meeting people or letting yourself be seen because being seen feels dangerous. And that to me is just a heavy way to live. And that's why I personally don't want to live like this anymore. Especially if you're already introverted or like socially anxious. You don't just feel awkward socially, you feel physically, literally wrong. Like you don't fit into the space you're occupying. So a lot of us develop these little coping habits. You know, we avoid eye contact, we cover up, we keep our headphones on, we stay home more, we say no to more plans, we convince ourselves to do anything else that wouldn't put us in the spotlight or around other groups of people. And it's not because we hate people, it's because it's exhausting to feel watched by your own mind all the time and just comparing every little thing that's going on around you. That comparison, it makes everything worse. Because now it's like you're not just uncomfortable with yourself, you're measuring yourself against other people, their bodies and their faces and their confidence. And, you know, you start thinking, why can't I look like that? Why do they seem so comfortable in their own skin and their own body? Why do I feel so out of place here? Why are they so much more dressed up than I am? Their skin is so much clearer than mine. Or, you know, just these little unfair comparisons. Like you're comparing your worst thoughts to someone else's daily routine, or like their external presentation to your own internal experience, you know? But I realized that something else that's helped me is just remembering that your body isn't just an object, it's your home. It carries you through your days. It holds your nervous system. It lets you feel warmth and listen to music and feel comfort and feel relatable. And even if you don't like how it looks sometimes, it's still doing so much for us. It sounds simple, but shifting from how do I look to what is my body doing for me right now, it can sometimes soften the spiral that we all go into. And that matters, you know? One of the hardest parts is how isolating body dysmorphia feels, because it's such an internal struggle, a big internal struggle. It's not something that's easy to talk about. It low-key feels embarrassing, or like it to other people it feels dramatic. But it's not dramatic. Like, it affects how you move through the world. It affects your confidence. It affects your relationships. It affects your ability to enjoy just simple moments. But I just want to say that it doesn't mean that we're broken. It's just our brain is trying to protect us, like, even if it doesn't need to protect us, and even if it's doing like a terrible job at it. That's just kind of how the human mind works sometimes. It's always looking for threats, it's always looking for rejection, it's always trying to keep us safe from judgment, but it just traps us inside of our own judgment. So yeah, I just want to say, like, try not to make like big decisions about yourself just because of your body dysmorphia. It makes everything feel heavier and uglier and more permanent than it really is. But when it gets like that, try focusing on the basics. Like, try focusing on eating something, or drinking water, or resting your eyes, or watching a movie, or changing into clothes that don't fight the dysmorphia. Doing something kind for yourself. It doesn't always have to be confidence. Just let yourself exist without constantly correcting yourself. Let yourself take up space. Let yourself be seen without assuming the worst just because you are being seen. Like, don't automatically go to like, oh, I look like this and I look like that. Just let it happen. I don't know. I would say, like, try to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you care about. Sorry. Like, you wouldn't tell your friend that they're disgusting for having a bad skin day, or you wouldn't tell someone you love that they shouldn't go outside because they don't look perfect, or you wouldn't tell your friend that they look like a giant fucking obese chipmunk. So you don't deserve that cruelty either. Like, it's okay to struggle. We're not perfect. We're human. It's okay to have days where your reflection doesn't feel like you. We won't always feel like ourselves at times. No one is gonna always 100% feel like themselves at times. It's okay to take your time learning how to feel safe in your own body, and learning how to feel valid in your own body. Healing from this dysmorphia, it doesn't mean not ever having those thoughts again. That's just unrealistic. We are our biggest critics at the end of the day, so we will have those thoughts from here to there. But it means, like, learning to sit with them without letting them control you. It sounds simple, but it really is that simple. Like, just not letting those thoughts control you, and control your day, and control every little aspect of like what you wear, what you do, how you eat. Because I know that with my dysmorphia, there would be times where like I wouldn't eat as much because I'd feel like maybe if I don't eat as much, like I'll be a little less chunky. I hope this reminds you that you're not alone in this feeling. And I know that what I said, and sorry for my stutters, it's a really heavy topic to talk about, and I know I won't magically fix everything, like every thought that we have about ourselves and about our bodies, and like the way we're perceived and how we look and how we think we're being perceived. But I just want you to know that like all of us are quietly fighting our own reflections. All of us are dealing with these battles of how we look and how we want to look to others. If you've been struggling with how you look and how you're perceived and how you feel in your own body, just know that I see and feel you too, so you're not alone. But yeah, if you felt yourself in this video, or if it helped cheer you up anyway, or clear those thoughts in your mind, or even give you something more to like think about today, then feel free to subscribe, because that helps me just as much too. And remember that I'm proud of you, even if you did absolutely nothing today. And when you're ready, I'll see you on the next Soft Talk.